quoting Hegesippus, Eusebius states that James the Righteous was holy from his birth. He drank no wine, ate no animal food, no razor came near his head, no, he did not smear himself with oil, and took no bath. He alone was permitted to enter the holy place, the Holy of Holies, in the temple, for his garments were not of wool, but of linen. Priestly robes. He used to enter the sanctuary alone, and was often found on his knees beseeching forgiveness for the people, so that his knees grew hard like a camel's. Because of his unsurpassable righteousness, he was called the righteous and bulwark of the people. At this point, it is worth interrupting the text to note certain intriguing details. James is said to wear linen or priestly robes. This was the prerogative of those who served in the temple and belonged to one of the priestly families. Traditionally, the Sadducean aristocracy, who during the first century came to an accommodation with Rome, and the Herodian dynasty of Roman puppets. Again, Eisenman points out Epiphanius, another church historian, speaks of James wearing the mitre of the high priest. Then too only the high priest was allowed to enter the Holy of Holies, the inner sanctum and most sacred spot of the temple. What then can James be doing there, and without eliciting any explanation or expression of surprise from church historians, who seem to find nothing untoward or irregular in his activities? Did he perhaps, by virtue of his birth, have some legitimate right to wear priestly apparel and enter the Holy of Holies? Or might he have been acting, as Eisenman suggests, in the capacity of a kind of opposition, high priest or rebel, who, defying the established priesthood's accommodation with Rome, had taken upon himself the role they had betrayed? Certainly the established priesthood had no affection for James. According to Hegesippus, the scribes and Pharisees decided to do away with him, so that the people will be frightened and not believe him. They proclaim that even the righteous one has gone astray, and invoke a quote from the Old Testament, in this case from the prophet Isaiah, to justify their actions. They note that Isaiah had prophesied the death of the righteous one in murdering James. Therefore, they will simply be bringing Isaiah's prophecy to fulfillment. But also, in using this quote from Isaiah, they are following a technique employed in both the Dead Sea Scrolls and the New Testament. Eisenman points out that just as this quote is used in order to describe the death of James, so the Qumran community employs similar righteousness passages from the New Testament in order to describe the death of the teacher of righteousness. Eusebius goes on to describe the death of James in the following manner.